to no.
What threw you off? The shaggin' wagon?
Yes. We just talked about that. That was last episode. Welcome everybody to another episode of the Quickie with Miss B. I'm Miss
Not
B.
the with a quickie.
I didn't say that, did I?
Yeah. Oh, really? Do you want to do the goat again?
Oh, stop. I can't breathe. Sometimes I wonder how we get through these episodes.
Okay, here, I'll help you out. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of A Quickie with Miss B. She's Miss B, not me. And all this week, we're talking about your first. Fill in the blank.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about your first place that you either rented or owned.
Okay, I'll probably be rented since there wasn't a lot of kids that went, hey, you know what? I'm 18, I'm moving out. I'm buying a house.
Well, it could be something that you owned later on down the road.
Right, but I mean, you still already had your first place you rented before you owned, so I mean, more than likely you're talking about renting.
Oh, damn, I broke a nail.
Oh, my
Okay.
Lord. What a chick thing to say. Oh,
wow. You know how long you've been trying? Anyways, so we're going to talk about first place.
First place.
You rented.
Yep. Well, I'll happily go first this time because mine's kind of like... this is back in the days of newspapers, if anybody remembers those. We didn't have this fancy World Wide Web we're all listening to now. We had newspapers and we had radios. These were these things when you turned on, music came out of them, along with news and things, and we had television. So in the newspaper, I'd seen this ad, and I remember looking at it going, what? And it was like, are you looking for a place? Now, I'm paraphrasing because, of course, I don't remember that far back exactly what the ad said. But I remember a few key points. It said that if you're looking for your own place, it was available, all right, for $175 a month, all bills paid. Now, normally we were paying about $3, but this was all bills paid, which means they were going to pay the heat. This is in Topeka, Kansas, by the way. They're going to pay the heat, so it wasn't that bad heat. It's not terrible, hot, but you have winter still. You get snow. But also in the summertime when it's ridiculously hot was what you were worried about, Christine. Your electric's paid.
Yeah.
So I could have my air conditioner sitting there. I'm thinking, yeah, all right, this is good. And I was, kind of getting away from the gal at the time. So, I really needed my own place. And this guy was talking about how it's such a cool place. It's got a beautifully landscaped front yard. This is a newspaper ad. Beautifully landscaped front yard, complete with white picket fence, new windows, new roof, and it goes all freshly painted, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, wow. And it comes completely furnished.
Okay, what's the catch?
So far, I had no clue until I arrived. And everything they said was true. Except it was a garage. Imagine taking the roll-up door off a garage and build a wall there, but put a regular door there. But now inside, make a small kitchen at the back and a small bathroom at the back and one giant living room. So it was a studio apartment with a bathroom and a kitchenette. More like what you would see at a hotel. Okay?
Yeah.
So 50% of the kitchen was a full-size refrigerator. All right. Then 25% of what was left was the stove. And then there was a sink. Now you had a cabinet that was above the sink and a cabinet below the sink and a cabinet above the stove. That was it. Didn't have any counter space because there were no counters. So imagine when you open the refrigerator, it can bump into the sink.
Oh, geez.
All right. And when you pull down the stove, you cannot open the stove and open the refrigerator at the same time because they meet.
Uh-huh.
So you need, not a lot of people do that, but it's still a nice thing to be able to do. To pull something out of the fridge, turn around, put it in the oven is impossible. It's pull it out of the fridge, leave the kitchen, pull down the oven, then go back in and put it in. And I mean, this is my first time ever seeing a micro shower. I had never seen a miniature shower before. It was a toilet, all right? And then directly in front of the toilet. I mean, I could literally do dishes while taking a dump. That's how close. The door was like, it was right there. If you opened the door, I was getting slammed.
So basically, it was so small that you had to go outside and change your mind.
Yes. But then now that was the back. But then you had one giant living room, and I mean, it was a really good sized living room. It's a two-car garage, so everything else forward of it was one giant living room. I'm like, why did they break it up into a bedroom or something like that? So I hung a curtain in it because this guy had a couch in there. It was all furnished. Had a couch that pulled out to a bed, and we all know those horrifying. Yeah, those, got the big bar in your back going, who sleeps on these things? Right. So I just left the couch as it was, put a cloth up, a really nice sheet, some people might call it, That was the bedroom. That was the shagging area over there. And then I had the living room. So, it was fine. It was great. But, I mean, the guy described it like, oh, my heavens, white picket fence. And I was there for a couple of years, though. That was like, it was affordable. That was affordable. When you're making $800 a month, $175. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's pretty good. And then, of course, I had to fill up the Ford Custom 500, and that was where you just sat there and went, where is this gas going? And that's when gas was cheap. When gas is cheap, and when I mean cheap, I mean we're talking, we always complained about the price of gas. Know that now. When gas first came out, I'm sure people were going, can you believe this? 5 cents a gallon? And then it's 20 cents a gallon. We're like, wait, I remember it was 5 cents a gallon. It doesn't matter what the price of gas is. It's always expensive. But I think it was like, I don't know. It might have been 35 cents a gallon back then. So, I mean, still, you're like, as you're like, that's $4. And you're looking down going, oh, wait, where's the gas going? And then it's, now you're at $12. And you're like, okay, something's wrong. When you're filling your car up and you get on your hands and knees and look under the car, something's wrong. I think I actually opened the trunk once to see if is this pouring in the trunk or something? Yeah, that car, wow. I only filled it up once a week, but wow. Wow, it was like $26 or $28. And you're going, what is that, a 1,000,000-gallon tank? What is on this? I remember thinking, oh my God. Was it evaporating before it finally gets to the tank? Is this car so big? Yeah, that's my little first place.
And on that note, we're going to take a break because I need to go to the website and look for some home decor. Welcome back, everybody. You're listening to A Quickie with Miss B. I'm Miss B. If you missed the first half of the episode, please go back and check that out. And please go back and check out all the previous episodes that you may have missed from this week in past tense. And if you want to know where to find those in podcasts, you can check us on YouTube, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, iTunes, just to mention a few.
YouTube's a little slower because it takes a lot more. It takes a lot of work to get that. It's what's hilarious is most people don't realize it, but they have it set up so you can't do podcasts on YouTube. I have to convert everything over to a video.
Oh, that's so weird.
Yeah, they don't permit. They do not permit. So I have to make a video of a black screen.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, it's the way it works. All right, don't look at the squirrels. You're live. Remember, we're talking about your first place. Stop staring at the squirrels.
I'm not staring at the squirrels. I'm staring at my neighbor.
Okay, well, if he's not scratching himself, then let's move on.
Okay.
If he is scratching himself, bang on the glass real hard and then do this with the fingers.
No.
There are people peeping over here. Let's not do that.
Uh-huh.
So your first place.
Yeah, my first place. Okay, so here's my story and I'm sticking to it. So, location is everything when it comes to finding your first place. And some locations are not as good as maybe some of the other locations. So we finally found this apartment that we could afford because
Who's we?
I was married at the time. My first
Oh, this isn't your first place?
that
I
was
want to
my
hear about you. So you lived with your mother until the day you went and got this place.
what part of I'm Italian do you not understand here?
Okay. All right. So, Christine, you want for taking this man out of my house, please? Get your own place, okay? No more of that, whatever. No more.
No,
Not downstairs.
So we looked, and finally we agreed that we could afford this place. But it was right down the street from two bars in the neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, oh, this could be good or this could be bad, depending upon it, Because then you start thinking, oh, no, is there going to be like all this riffraff that's coming and going, and are we going to
Yes.
cops and whatever?
Yes, those are all yeses.
So we ended up taking the place anyway because there really wasn't much else out there, and this was something that we could afford. Well, unbeknownst to us, it ended up being pretty quiet. I mean, the concerns that we had about the bars were nothing.
Really?
There's nothing that ever really happened. Police weren't called there. There wasn't fights going on. There wasn't all kinds of shenanigans happening. So we thought, well, this is pretty cool, like good first place that we picked. It's cheap, it's quiet, blah, blah, blah. So anyways, the neighbors moved into the other apartment next to us. And, you can kind of hear people coming and going because they're moving in. And then it kind of quieted down for a while. And then one day, we're waking up in the morning. I was kind of laying there. You know how you're just having a lazy day, like, okay, I'm just going to take a moment before getting started. All of a sudden, I hear the other couple in the apartment next to us. Oh, yeah, well, screw you, too. And then there was this big fight. There was some not so nice words exchanged.
What, do you call her chubby or something?
I don't know what started it. So then it got quiet for a while, and I thought, all right, they're done. Then it started back up again later on that afternoon. Then we were coming back from, I don't know, doing our errands or something. And you had to go to the front of the apartment complex to get your mail. Okay. Yeah. But they lived in like the upper front complex where they actually had to go down the stairs and then, get the mail that way. So as we're coming up getting the mail, you could hear boom, 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 somebody going down the stairs. Well, the guy was already in the car and he was ready to take off. And the girl came flying down the stairs with a big freaking bowl of spaghetti in hand, goes to the car, kicks the car, and says to him, "You don't like my effing cooking? Don't think you're not leaving without it." Wham! Went the bowl and the spaghetti all over this car.
So she was Italian.
So much for the quiet neighborhood, because the next thing you know, here come the cops. Domestic.
So he couldn't say, like, there's an Italian chick that lives next door. Could you, like, I don't know, I smell the cooking coming from across the hall. You couldn't, like, ease over there for a minute and say, "Hey, how you doing? I'm your neighbor. What's going on? Yeah. Can you make spaghetti?" You can? Yeah, teach me, because why? He don't eat it. He's going to McDonald's.
I've never seen anybody so mad in my whole entire life. And honestly, she kicked that car so hard she put a dent in it.
I can imagine if Caroline, oh my God, Caroline, she'd have been like, "You don't like it, huh? Yeah. Learn. You learn. I've heard her say it. Learn. No, you don't understand. I don't learn. Learn. And she's so vindictive, you know what you're going to eat for the next 9 months if you don't learn.
You're going to eat that same dish over and over.
Ah, she was vindictive like that. You Italian chicks are vicious. You're vicious.
And there's that saying that, will do you bodily harm, put you in the hospital, and then the next day we'll come back to the hospital with, you hungry? You want some ravioli?
Hey, that was a true story. I Love You to Death, by the way. People, great movie. That is a true story. That's a true story. She actually tried to kill him, and then he fell in love with her because she tried to kill him. He said that's how you know a woman, she's in love with you. Why? Because if nobody else have you, you die. I can't be mad at her. Why? Because she's showing me how much she loves me. And they got back together. She tried to kill him 3 times. That would be Caroline. That would be Caroline. Well, you don't. Wait. Hold on, everybody. Shush. You don't like peace? No. What? Oh my God. Somebody bring me some peace. Oh no.
You're gonna learn.
Yes. I'll make you something special with the peas. You'll like it. When she says that, I don't care what you think about peas. Shovel that bad boy in and tell her how good it is. She's not even my Nona. She was somebody else's Nona. I don't have a Nona. But still, I quaked in my boots.
And on that note, you're making me hungry for pasta. I gotta go get some.